Actually, it looked like it was going to be sunny today, but then all of a sudden the clouds came. Now it looks like it's going to rain. How about I read this today? It's kind of interesting. It says, drone drops off drugs cell phone to inmates at Cuyahoga County Jail. If that's how you pronounce it, that is. It says, new video released by Cuyahoga County shows a drone dropping off contraband to inmates at the county's jail Elucid Annex, a story News 5 investigators first told you about in July. So one of those criminals are using drones to drop off things like weapons and drugs, and in this case, I guess in jails. It's just kind of interesting watching the video. The guy tries to act all chill, like nothing going on here. Something just miraculously falls off the sky, like do. How do you expect not to get caught in those cases? Because I guess like there, you would assume like a prison would have cameras and stuff everywhere, right? And then all this seems to be the dominating news around here. Apparently there's going to be like these climate action protests, except the twist here is going to be school kids, and school boards are saying they give them kind of permission to go there if they wish. It says kids will be allowed to cut class for climate change strike, Vancouver school board says. This Friday, September 27th, children and young adults around the world will skip school to protest government's inaction on climate change. The global movement has an event planned for Vancouver where students are expected to gather outside City Hall at the 12th and Cambie Streets beginning at 1 p.m. They will be walking out of class in large numbers across Lower Mainland and calling on parents, unions, businesses, and general public to join us in an international Earth Strike for Climate Action, reads the Climate Convergence website in support of the student-led action. This could put kids in a tough spot. Do they risk getting in trouble and do their bit to call attention to the problem their generation will struggle with for the rest of their lives, or play it safe and remain in their classroom on Friday? Rather than leave students with that decision, the Vancouver School Board voted on Monday to give its permission for students to attend their protests. So that's kind of fascinating. I don't remember any other time where there was an issue where the school board would tell students it's okay to go and do this. Yeah, makes you kind of wonder if that is the right thing to do, in the sense of when will it end for other people saying they have like a certain cause that they're going to do this too? And I'm trying to figure out what exactly caused this. What's the motivation? Is it because of this one? Like the news recently, it says here, teen climate activist Greta Thunberg delivers scathing speech at UN with quotes such as, "How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words," Thunberg said. So it seems like this teenager essentially gave a speech saying how people are ignoring evidence of things like climate change and they're doing nothing about it. Like it says, some quote here, it says, "For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you're doing enough when the politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight." And then more of that quote, it says, "You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are at the beginning of mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of internal economic growth. How dare you?" So I'd imagine this is one of the big reasons that motivated a lot of the school kids to want to strike on the same day. And I guess on the other side of the coin, you have people saying this is crazy in terms of scientific evidence and all that. And it seems like people are kind of, I guess, bashing the person. Like it says here, I guess this is in the US, it says, Laura Ingraham compares Greta Thunberg to Stephen King's Children of the Corn. Essentially, from what I gathered from watching that, she's kind of implying just the way she talks, she's being brainwashed by adults and all that in terms of climate change, making it sound like it's the end of the world. And then the other side, you have people saying, no, it's absolutely true and you need to raise awareness of it, I guess. This is one of those topics where, since I'm not an expert in any way or a scientist about those issues, I can't necessarily say what exactly is happening in terms of the cause and all that, because it kind of reminds me of whether or not it's true. They say in history, for things like electricity and gasoline, apparently way back for things like cars, people had the opportunity to make everything fully electric, but for some reason they said oil was better. Another example that people tell me is right now when you think of things like environment, they often say things like plastic bags are gonna ban it. Apparently back in the day, they say like a lot of supermarkets are using paper bags like to pack up groceries and stuff, but they were saying plastic is way better because this and this, whereas now it's the other way around. So it's one of those things where, okay, like, can you ever be right, so to speak, when it comes to like the far future? Again, I'm no expert on the subject, but just generally speaking, I think one side they're arguing that things like car and all that, pollution, they're the cause of things like the world coming to an end, like getting flooded, whatever you want to call it. Whereas some people on the other side are arguing that's just a natural cycle of the earth. So yeah, I guess that's the argument right now, where either side are doing it for some kind of, I guess, monetary reason. I guess that's kind of the debate here. It's one of those things, like, speaking for myself, unless I personally studied the thing rigorously, understand everything, I can't really jump to conclusion and say this side's right, this side's wrong, and so forth, because I didn't really sit down and look at everything. Whereas for a lot of people I know, just for general things in the world, where one person says this, then all of a sudden they'll believe it, etc., etc. I think that would be the dangerous thing, so to speak. Kind of reminds me of, I don't know, in terms of environment stuff, like animals, for example. People would say, remember, like with the drones, there's a drone flying like 80 meters in the air, okay? And then there's a whale out there and someone's capturing the whale 80 meters up in the air, and then there's some animal experts saying that thing's giving the whale a heart attack because they're the quote animal expert. Like that, I would be like, really? Like there, I'd rather have like all the experts actually go at it with the facts, as opposed to if you're really on one side, like they're protecting the animals and all that, you shouldn't just believe like one source and then go crazy on that. On the other hand, with this topic, I guess the little disappointing thing is it seems like so many people are trying to bash the little girl and troll her and all that. Like in that sense, I would say just stick to the facts, in my opinion. If one side or the other just wants to focus things emotionally, then I think it'll be pretty clear who has the actual facts afterwards. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. And I guess as usual in most cases like this, you can't really tell what's going to happen in the future, so only time will tell which side was, I guess you could say, right or not. Whoa, what do you have in there? What is that? A peanut? I think the struggle with him is, I have this good huge peanut, but this guy's back here. Now what do I do? Smart move. Quickly bury the peanuts and then come here. Alright, see you guys later.